Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Curtis and today I'm going to show you how to make a rich mini Easter chocolate cake. It was so much fun to do, but it was a little bit messy. I'm not going to lie, but it is a lot of fun to do. So in this cake there are 3 layers of chocolate cake, then Swiss meringue buttercream between each layer, and then I've got dark chocolate ganache drips going on the side, and then I've got like a gold luster dust paint splatter. Like, what am I doing? And I got a chocolate meringue nest on top and a golden Easter egg macaron as well. So it's gonna be so much fun to do, so I'm gonna go straight into this video. So here I have a 4-inch cake which I'm just gonna level off, and then I'm gonna cut that into 3 layers. This is just my chocolate cake recipe which I've already shared with you guys, so I'll leave the link to that in the description box below. Once I've got my 3 layers, I'm going to sugar syrup it so it's nice and moist. And I'm going to attach my first layer onto a 5-inch cake board with a little bit of Swiss meringue buttercream. So I'm going to put that first layer straight into a freezer for 5 minutes, because when you make mini cakes, like, they are just like, because they're so light and little, they just want to move about a bit. So I'm putting it in there just so it's nice and secure. So once it is, I can start building up my cake. Here I have some Swiss meringue buttercream which I have just melted some dark chocolate into and folded it in. And I'm going to start building up my cake. Once I've built up my cake, it's time to do a nice little crumb coat to lock in all those crumbs, so it's just a thin layer of buttercream going all around and on the top. Once I've done my crumb coat, I'm going to put that in the fridge for about half an hour till it's nice and firm, and then I'm going to start doing my final layer. So I'm applying that same buttercream again all around the cake nice and generously, on the top and on the sides. And then I smooth it off with a cake scraper, and then any sort of gaps that I see, I fill them in, and I smooth it off until I get the desired look I want. Once I'm happy with how smooth the sides are, I'm going to start bringing in that lip with a palette knife, and then we can start to move on to doing our gold paint splatter. So I've got some cardboard which I've just sort of stood up because I don't want to get paint everywhere, because if I get paint on the floor and it dries, my boyfriend will kill me, and no, just not happening, not happening. So to make this gold paint, I've got a little bit of luster dust with some vodka to water it down to make a little paint, and once I've made my paint, I got a paintbrush and I just started to sort of like do that. I don't know how else to describe, like I'm just like this is what I'm doing in the video, like, yeah. And then once I'm happy with that, I let it dry at room temperature so the alcohol can evaporate off, and it's just left with the gold luster dust. Once I've done that, I can start to do my chocolate ganache drips. If you want to know how I made this chocolate ganache, I will leave the measurements in the description box below. So I've just poured my ganache straight into the middle of my cake, and I'm smoothing it around with a palette knife and letting the drips form naturally. I wasn't happy with how many drips there were, so I did go in there and add an additional few extra drips in there. And then once I'm happy with my drips, I start to do little rosettes and blobs around the cake with a small star nozzle. Now the main bit of the cake's done, it's time to start doing our chocolate meringue nest. So to make it, I've got some egg whites, some caster sugar, some cocoa powder, and some brown food colouring. So I've put my egg whites straight into my stand mixer and I whisk that up until it's nice and frothy. Once it's nice and frothy, I can start to add in my sugar nice and slowly. And I keep mixing that until it gets to a nice shiny meringue. I start to add in some brown food colouring, and you might be thinking like, why are you adding brown food colouring if you're adding in cocoa powder? I'm not adding in a lot of cocoa powder, just for the reason that cocoa powder has fat content in there, and that fat content's going to start to like disintegrate our meringue, so you don't want to put too much in there, and I want to get a little bit more of a chocolatey aesthetic to my meringue. So once I'm happy with the colour of meringue, I'm going to add in my cocoa powder, and I'm going to fold this in by hand because I just want to get it so it's just folded in and combined. I don't want to go any further. I've got a piping bag here fitted with a star nozzle, and I'm just going to do stripes of brown food colouring up the bag. Once I've done that, I'm going to put my meringue straight in there, and then I've got a baking tray lined with some parchment paper with 3-inch circles, and I'm just going to pipe my meringue nests. So what I do is I do a kiss in the middle, and then I do a donut going around that twice to get that nice sort of nest look to it. Once I've piped all my nests, I'm going to pop that in the oven for an hour and a half at 100 degrees centigrade. Now it's time to start to assemble our cake. It's super easy to do, so I get a little bit of Swiss meringue buttercream, I put that on top of the cake, and then I attach my nest on top and secure it, and I place my golden egg macaron inside. And that's how I made this mini chocolate Easter cake. I hope you guys enjoyed this cake tutorial on the video, and if you did, then please hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Both of those buttons are just down there, and share this video with your friends if you think they might like it. I'll see you guys on the next video, so until then, take care and bye!